This question says, the red dots represent the positions of athletes and the green line is the finish line. Which position shows the fairest way for a race counterclockwise all the way around the track? Is it A, where the people in the outer lanes of the track start closer to the finish line? Is it B, where everybody starts on the finish line? Or is it C, those on the inner lanes of the track start closer to the finish line, and those on the outer lanes of the track start farther from the finish line? Now, the point of any race is to see who can cover the same distance in the fastest time, or in the shortest amount of time. And if we consider the linear distance, so the total distance covered by each person, this will be S, so that linear distance is equal to the radius times the angle theta. Now they're all on the same track, so they all have the same angle theta, but the radius varies depending on the starting positions. So for example, if we take a look at A, we see that the person in the outermost lane is starting at the finish line, whereas the person on the innermost lane is starting at a position farthest from the finish line. But the person from the outermost lane has to cover the greatest distance. So we see here, S equals R times theta. So if R is greater, well then the linear distance will be greater. So A doesn't make sense, because this would position the contestants such that the outer lane is actually a disadvantage. They need to cover more distance, and therefore the correct answer is not A. Now in B, we have something different, although equally problematic. We see each person is starting on the finish line. But again, because they're in different lanes, and therefore have different radii, they need to cover different distances, which is not a fair race, and therefore the correct answer is also not B. Now in C, we do indeed see the correct answer. We see the person on the innermost lane, and with the smallest radius, starts on the finish line, and the person on the outermost lane, with the largest radius, starts at the furthest position ahead of the finish line. So it's what we see depicted in C that will create a fair race, because we're compensating for the differences in radii by offering different starting positions. So therefore, it is C that is the fairest way for a race counterclockwise around the track.